me introduce your host, Fino. It's Sasha, the legit king.
It's the start of the show, time to walk through the smoke. When I enter the ring, I jump over the ropes. I feel like Mysterio, I ain't no joke. Titles, I held them both, call me Chris Jericho. Time to cash in my money in the bank. Just like Sheamus when he beat Roman Reigns. Meet me in the cage, like Undertaker when he met Kane. I don't play games, I'm the Triple H. The crowd screaming, you rock like my name's Dwayne. The crowd screaming, you suck like your Kurt Angle. In the ring, I'm the boss just like Sasha Banks. So you'll get whipped like the intro from Sable. King of my stable, don't matter the label. Smackdown or Raw, you get put through a table. Pushed off a ladder or choked with a cable. Throw me a chair, I'ma give him a facial. It's the start of the show, time to walk through the smoke. When I enter the ring, I jump over the ropes.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the wrestling podcast known as Ring Champs. I am one of your co-hosts. It's your boy, Just Fino, and I'm here with my co-host, the one and only Sasha, the legit king. Sasha, how you doing?
I am good. I told you off camera, or not camera, off recording that I thought I was going to have an early bedtime, but man, when the WWE flips the whole wrestling world on its head, you got to stay up for this. So I'm good. I'm good.
That is true. I said it. We made a deal, guys. I sent the deal over. I was like, look, if something,
you told me what was up. So.
Particular event happens, we're recording. If not, we wait till tomorrow. But the event happened, and we'll definitely get into it. But the main event that we're talking about was Survivor Series. We're recording literally 30 minutes after the ending of Survivor Series. We wanted to watch the Triple H press conference. He actually went first this time, and we'll get into some of the comments that was there. But Sasha, Survivor Series. Let's not jump right into the turn. Okay, I just want to get your quick thoughts on it, and then we'll jump into it.
Yeah, this was one for the books. I mean, I was excited. I think I texted you earlier, and I had said like that I was excited about the event. It was like I think we said last episode, like out of the big four, you got Rumble, you got Mania, you got SummerSlam, and Survivor Series. Survivor Series is always kind of like last place out of the big four, but man, they came swinging. Like they were not fucking around tonight. So yeah, I can't wait to talk about it. I know I joked about not having an early bedtime, but this is exciting. Like we really do need to just get in on this because this is special right here. What's say?
Well, I gotta say that I enjoyed the show. I really did enjoy it, top to bottom. I thought every match was entertaining. I guess some of the matches were surprising. Like they were way better than I thought they would be, and I was overall match quality was great. Obviously, just all the returns and the surprise return that no one knew about, and I'm not even talking about the one that happened at the end of the night. That was great to see. So yeah, just overall great show. What a way to end the WWE PLE 2023, just main roster, I should say, because I know we have deadline in 2 weeks for NXT. But yeah, I think that was a hell of a way to end it. So how about we just go ahead and jump into the main thing, right?
Let's do it.
The voice of the voiceless has found his voice home. I guess that's the best way to say it. CM Punk has returned to WWE, people. It's pretty damn crazy. I'll be honest with you. I never thought that it would happen. I know I'm in a way. I feel weird for different reasons. I'm excited for it in a way. I sound weird, but I feel weird. I feel excited. I feel upset. I'm still mad at him. I'm happy for him. Like I'm everything. Sasha, take over for right now. I need a second. This is crazy.
Okay, so I mean, our loyal listeners, and even if you haven't, this is your first time listening to us. We had an episode a while back. We were talking about, when CM Punk was ultimately released from AEW, and like Fino said, you weren't like 100% on board with this. I kind of had to convince you, but I think what you're feeling now is normal. Like I think, I think you were right to kind of be like, but at the end of the day, and I told you this when it first happened, I think in its own weird way, I think CM Punk needed AEW, that AEW. He needed that stand. I mean, it ended the way it did. We know what happened, but I think he needed to dip his toe back in. I think a lot of questions were answered, like, would people still want to see him? Was he still the voice of the voiceless? And like I said, shit happened in AEW. That happened, but that was very necessary. But when he came out tonight in Chicago and looked around, I immediately felt like this is the real deal. Like, this is the moment. The moment that he had when he first came to AEW was great. It was great. But this felt right. This was the right one. Felt like, okay, he's home. It was a good little prelude, but he's home now. And I think we even mentioned it on the previous show. That stuff that happened in AEW, that's just not going to happen in WWE. It's just not going to happen. Like, I don't see it. I don't, and I know we can probably disagree with this, but I think that except for maybe a handful of people, CM Punk is coming in, the roster is very, very different. It's a lot of new people. It's a lot of people that most likely were watching Punk when they were coming up. Because think about it, he's been gone for almost 10 years. So think about the people that have come up, So there's that. And say which I know that stuff happened in AEW again, but I just think that this would be a huge waste. And like Triple H said, if 10 years has gone by and nobody has changed, and I get it, I get AEW, I know what happened, but I also feel like AEW just they don't have what WWE has as far as that hierarchy. This is not a friendship, this is a business. And I think that Punk knows that now. This has been 10 years, he's older, he's gone from it, he's come back, he's seen what it's like. I think it's different now. I think if you're going to really come in, because think about it, when he came back, his thought, he said he wants to come back and help the young. He wants to come back and do this. He wants to come back and do that. AEW probably, and this is not everybody, I don't think they're there yet. I don't think a lot of the mindset was, we want the help. I don't think the culture of AEW and CM Punk were a match. I think coming into WWE, like I said, with the exception of a handful of people, it's new blood. Triple H and them, they're not going to take that shit. And the thing is, I think AEW needed CM Punk more than WWE needs CM Punk. He's a big attraction. He's a big star. This is exciting. But at the end of the day, they're trucking. They're moving along. They're good. They're going. This is a wonderful addition to it, but he's not going to be the end all be all. So I think this was the right choice. I think this is good. I want to see more. I just don't get the vibe that this is going to end the way his run at AEW. I think this is going to be kind of a redemption tour. Not just saying that he needs to repair his reputation. This is the closure that he needed, that the fans needed, and this is the right place for it. I don't think AEW was going to give him that, besides putting your toe in the water. That's all. So
that's a lot to digest, but I think you said it kind of perfectly. When you think about it, yeah, CM Punk coming back to WWE. I mean, it's just one of those things. It's like, never say never. I think they always say that in WWE. Just never say never. And things are just gonna happen that no one would ever think would happen. I don't think that, especially after he made his return to pro wrestling in AEW, I don't think anyone ever thought that he would come back to WWE. I think, like you said, he needed that. He needed to feel like he was still loved, even though obviously he was still loved because people are chanting his name. Well, they used to chant his name all the time in WWE and stuff like that. But
Did he still love it?
You're right. Did he still love it? And I think obviously he does. It's just weird. I keep going back to that word. It's weird, but at the same time, because of words you said it before in our previous episode where we talked about it. Like, I'm excited for it now, because what is he going to do? Like, what is the future of WWE and CM Punk? What are we gonna get? And you talked about all those matchups, all the potential storylines, all of it. It's great. It's a great place to be in right now. I'm wow. I feel like I'm in shock. Even though, like,
yeah, I think this is probably one of those that you've just been almost speechless. Like, you usually got something to say, and I think this really kind of took you off guard, which is fine. I don't think he has that chip on his shoulder anymore. Like we said in the last episode, it's about timing, right? CM Punk is definitely one of the elite wrestlers. He's at upper crust wrestlers, but it was a timing thing. You had you had what? Brock, you had Undertaker, you had HBK, you had Triple H. Like, you had so many people around, and it was very hard for him to just be the number one guy. And then John Cena was there, and then The Rock came back. So it's kind of like, man, but that's, I think when you devote your life so much to something, and a lot of wrestlers say that, like, you put your whole life into wrestling, and sometimes wrestling doesn't love you back. I think that time to step away, have a real life, find out other things he wanted to do, and then, like we said, coming back to AEW, discovering, hey, I still do love this, and now coming back with those new eyes, those fresh eyes, like, hey, I'm not gonna be the number one guy this time around. I'm just here because I love it and I want to help. At least that's what I'm gathering from this whole thing. I think it's easy to kind of point to, his previous run in AEW, but I don't know. It just
I think you bring up a good point, because, I think one can argue, like, the locker room now is a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
They work together. They help lift each other up. They bond together more, and I feel like this will allow, especially with the combination of the leadership that they have with Triple H and Michaels and everyone up there, that combination, I think, will bode well for CM Punk. And I think that in AEW, maybe their locker room did bond, but they didn't have the leadership. And that's the one thing that I always shit on TK for, because he's not leading. Like, he just lets them do what they want, or it feels like he lets them do what they want. Obviously, we're not in the background, but we're just seeing, obviously, the whole reason CM Punk is not in AEW anymore is a perfectly good example of, there's no leadership over there. And having a guy like Triple H, who has grown from where they were 10 years ago, CM Punk, as mentioned, has grown. It's just even better. It's a great dynamic now. They're in a better place overall, and it's going to just lead to great things. I do want to speak about just how they did the return. I love that they did it, after the War Games match. So it felt like, the War Games match had his moment. Randy had his moment. They kind of did it like when Bray Wyatt came back at Back. I was going to say Back. Well, which one did he come at? Extreme
Rules? Yeah.
Extreme Rules. I don't know if that they did it after they did like their little credit thing in the corner. Like it comes up and we know that's the end of the show. And then they kept talking. Once he kept talking, once I heard Michael Cole after that, I knew he was coming. Like it just hit me. I knew it. But I loved it. The crowd was going crazy, like expected. I mean, they're in Chicago, so that's gonna. You already know they're gonna go absolutely nuts. They have been great all night. Like, I mean, it was, and there wasn't that many CM Punk chants. There was some, but it wasn't like they took over any match or anything like that. I thought they were actually very great.
Yeah, they were dialed in. They were actually entertained by what was happening.
Exactly. And every moment they were just going crazy for. So shout out to the Chicago crowd. I mean, obviously they're one of the best crowds. And they're the home of AEW too, so it's kind of funny. Well, that's what it feels like. They're there every week. But anyway, I loved how it was done. I really did. And just to see him walk out, obviously the Dakota personality. It felt right. It felt right. But I will say this. Even with all the good things that you're saying, even the good and exciting feelings that I have, I'm not 100% gonna just like feel good about it. There is part of me that says it's like holding back because I know the issues he had in the past. I know the issues he had, with AEW. I'm not going to be fooled to think that can't happen now. Even though the situation is better, it's still the same person in a way. Like, it's not like he changed from 2 months ago. So I just want to,
I mean, I understand, but I look at it like, like I said, I don't know him personally. Like, we don't know him personally at all. But what I gather is that I think no matter what situation you put him in, he's still him. Like, he's very outspoken. He's just him. Like, that's who he is. It can be taken as being cantankerous, whatever, how you want to put it. But I do think that I'm not going to say it wasn't his fault. I'm not going to say he's 100% absolved of what happened. Things could have been handled better, But again, I think how the company structure and the locker room and everything, I think that's the best chance of playing how this could be a positive thing. But I understand why you'd be just kind of like a little skeptical about it.
Yeah,
but it's not really like a Shark Tank. It's not like it was. The company's not in Shark Tank anymore, and I feel like in a way AEW still is. They have the Shark Tank moments too. So, let's see. We're all gonna just kind of wait. I will say that if for some reason this happens again, then it'll be like, damn, I really can't explain that one again. I'm like, well, you're right.
Like, there's no way.
I will say that if it happens again, it's like, okay, well, you're right.
Can't defend it. Yeah.
No. It has to be something like super egregious where it's like, well, damn. But at the same time, it's like, struck out again, like,
Right. Yeah. It's like, all right, this is the third time. Like, all right, you got to go, bro.
Yeah. So we'll keep you, you're halfway, you're a little bit more than halfway there. I'm going to go all in on this, but I respect that you're not all the way, like, all the way. That's fair.
All right, so let's stay on the CM Punk topic. We talked about his return, our feelings and stuff like that. But now let's kind of jump to, I guess, what would be the future for CM Punk? What do we think, is gonna happen with him? as far as potential storylines, or we got Royal Rumble coming up. We got Mania season just right there around the corner. Like, what do we think is going to happen? What are they going to do with CM Punk? I'll let you take the floor, Sasha.
All right. Well, he's clearly going to be babyface. Like, I don't see him being a heel. Not after what just happened. I mean, there's other places you could go with it. I mean, obviously the biggest heel. I mean, with him appearing at the end of War Games, let's just assume that he's going to be on Raw. I mean, gosh, you got Judgment Day. You got them because you got Dirty Dom you can go against. You got Finn. You got Damien. That could be a thing. Or, somewhere down the line, you got Seth. Think about that. Cody came back. He was going against Seth. I feel like that what is it? Randy coming back is interesting, especially since the fact that Randy is one of the few people, I think, alongside Cody, that was there when Punk was there last time. I think everybody else, I'm trying to run through. Yeah, everybody else wasn't there. Maybe Jay, but yeah, I think Jay was there, but he wasn't. Was he?
Yeah.
Yeah, Jay was there, but he was still.
He was there, but he wasn't like the Usos weren't good. Like, well, I wouldn't say good.
They were starting out. They were fairly good. Yeah, they weren't the Usos that we know now.
Right.
But everybody else wasn't there, right? So I mean, that's an interesting place to start. Putting him against, the top. That would be pretty good to start. And I guess to some extent, Drew was there. But again, he wasn't Drew that we know now. So, gosh, there's just so many places he could go. Except Judgment Day, he can get in there with Seth. I still feel like we're going to get Cody and Randy eventually, sooner rather than later. Drew still hates Jay Uso's guts, so you never know with that one. Man, there's just so many places he can go. Like, it's crazy. Like, I don't even have a definitive answer. Just look at all the stuff he can do. Even if he, like everybody else, has been going to NXT, I could see him somewhere down the line going and doing something there. To see him go verbally with, and it's going to sound weird, but if he does score off against Judgment Day, I think it'll be interesting to see on the same screen. I know they don't really have anything, she obviously wasn't there when he was there, but that would be interesting aesthetic just to see them two in the ring together. But yeah, there's just so much going on. And what if he's not on Raw? What if there's kind of like a bidding war? Because you got Adam Pearce and Nick Aldis, they're gonna start leaning into the whole, competing brands like I think it should be. What if Nick Aldis is like, hey, we want him on SmackDown? The obvious thing would be, is he gonna run through Roman Reigns? Because Roman was definitely there when Punk was there last time. Then you got Gunther. He just beat The Miz. You got him in the background. Man, there's so many things he could do. Yeah, it's like a plethora of. And I'm not ragging on AEW, but I think a difference with this is that everybody knows who they are. And like you said, everybody's working together for the common good. So it's just a matter of looking at what everybody else is doing. Okay, we need someone for this person. You can slide it in. Everybody makes sense. Like he can go so many places. There's so many stories it can tell. And WWE has just really, improved on how they tell stories, long-term storytelling. Just, man, the little things. I don't know if when they had they were getting ready to go out, the men's War Games, and Jay was saying, he's like, he doesn't know if Randy's gonna come because of what happened. They referenced what happened last time. Even when Cody announced last Monday that Randy was coming, Jay's facial expressions. So there's so many little things that they're doing. So I could just imagine, we always talk about how good of a talker Punk is. Man, I'm excited. This is why it's hard for me to just even, I don't want to overlook what he did with the personal stuff outside, but man, in the ring, super excited.
No, I think the one obvious thing, if they really want to start off with a bang, my tribal chief doesn't have an opponent for Royal Rumble. That makes sense right now. If you really think about it, I mean, he's already beat LA Knight. John Cena gone. I mean, AJ Styles, they could do AJ. He's been gone. He got destroyed by the bloodline. I guess he could come back. But Shinsuke's a heel. Can't do heel and heel.
Punk's not a heel.
Oh, you're talking about for Punk. Oh.
Yes.
Well, yeah, you could do that. Have so Punk can get his first win.
Yeah, because if you slide him in with the tribal chief first, like he's not winning that, so you don't want to.
Yeah, but see, the way I'm thinking kind of my mindset is that Roman, if he loses the title at Mania, how long are we gonna see Roman? And I feel like having that big match of Punk and Roman, especially with the whole Paul Heyman thing in there, I feel like that's his goal. Now, I know, yeah, maybe you would want long-term booking, but I mean, we got to the end of January. We're still in November, so we'll have like 2.5 months, basically, or basically over 2 months for them to build that story. In 2 months, I would definitely be excited for a Punk versus Roman type thing. You know what I mean? Like, it's just something that just popped in my head. I mean, that's the biggest match you can have at Royal Rumble right now. I don't think there's a bigger match that can be made to main event Royal Rumble besides the Royal Rumble match.
I could definitely see that. And again, it would tie into, that could be a big get for Nick Aldis. You know, he hasn't been general manager very long. That would be a huge get for him to say, hey, I see CM Punk on my show, and how I got him on my show was saying, hey, we're going to slot you in for the tribal, you know? That would be pretty good.
Right. And I think SmackDown needs they need a big baby face. They don't really have, besides LA Knight, they don't have one. I'm trying to think like offhand.
Yeah, Roman's already beaten.
You know, it was basically, it's just LA Knight. So it would make sense if SmackDown got them. Raw's kind of basically packed. I mean, we saw the 5 of them in the ring together tonight. Yeah. So it kind of, unless unless the eventual turn of Randy, which I think that's coming.
Yes.
And you still will have 4 top baby faces on Raw, even if Randy turns. So it makes sense.
But if he goes to SmackDown, it's going to be. If he goes to SmackDown, it'll be what? Punk, LA Knight,
and that's it. And AJ.
Yeah, and AJ really hasn't been.
And AJ is still technically injured. I don't know, like if he went away because he was injured or they just giving him time off. I'm not sure. But yeah, I mean, they need something. They need more names over there. They don't really have the names, so
get KO up there. KO's on.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah,
I've been thoroughly entertained by KO in the last few weeks. So
no, I have too. I totally blanked on KO. I forgot. Yeah, KO's there, but we already seen KO basically face Roman and all that. So it'd be you got to get someone new for Roman.
So basically, it's AJ and Punk, which is an interesting. You know what? I can see that because if you. Like I said, I didn't really watch a lot of independent wrestling, didn't really have all that, but I've read about it and I've heard all the interviews and the stories about it. I mean, if you look at the current crop of wrestlers, I mean, gosh, how many of them essentially owe their careers to guys like Punk and AJ, along with people like, Bryan Danielson and what's the other guy's name? Is Christopher Daniels? I always hear his name too in this kind of conversation.
Yeah, Christopher Daniels.
Yeah, like those guys really, put it on for the smaller guys. Put it on for the guys that are built like a Finn Balor, that are, like a Sami Zayn, that are built like, those kind of guys. That would be a very interesting little run for them to have. Like the guys who basically help pave the way for these new generation guys going against, maybe fighting each other for a shot at Roman, who's ultimately kind of everything that's the opposite of what they helped build, and that's no disrespect to Roman. Roman, this is not saying anything bad, but like he was a football player. He came in through developmental. He was singled out as a company man. So you got these two pioneers in the independent scene going at it to see if they can be the one to knock down the ultimate, the face of sports entertainment, I guess, because we're more of like, hey, we're smaller guys, we're wrestling, this is the face. And I think that'd be interesting if they wanted to kind of reference that, especially since they're a lot more, I guess, open to acknowledging parts of wrestling, other companies, other people working in other places, people's other personas. Like they're much more comfortable. You heard Michael Cole, he keeps referencing, and it's like, I think this would be good.
Well, I hate to just throw everything we said away, but there's a video of a reaction of someone that was in the ring when CM Punk made his shocking return. This video consists of Seth Rollins going absolutely crazy, saying "fuck you, CM Punk" several times and trying to giving him the finger. I swear.
Ooh. Oh, there you go, first feud.
So I think we have our first feud, ladies and gentlemen. He's being held back by Corey Graves and a couple of referees, and looks like Michael Cole is also talking to him. I think that's Michael Cole. Yep, that's Michael Cole holding him back. Seth Rollins is going absolutely nuts.
Yeah.
I'm gonna send that to you so you can see it. I don't know if that's a work or if that's yeah, I don't know if that's a work or not. I'll be honest with you, but yeah, that is just sent it to you. That's absolutely crazy. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it looks like we're not going to get it because Seth really has ill feelings about Punk.
But Seth Rollins has managed to put aside personal differences.
He has, but I've never seen him act like that. I'll be honest, not even for Cody. So I gotta say, but either way, great job by Seth. If that is right.
I'm just saying, I think he might have reacted. We don't know how that's if it's real or not, but
so yeah, it's real or not. I think it's definitely it's very interesting. I know you're watching it now. Whoa.
Yeah, this looks real. He is upset. And like I said, everybody, you can see Mice and Your Money in the Bank in the background. They're all kind of just standing in the ring, walking around, like, what's going on?
I don't think anyone knew. I think Triple H said it.
Triple H said him and Nick Khan knew, but nobody else knew. I
got a question. Do you think Vince knew?
Maybe. I don't know.
I'm curious.
If he didn't, I guess don't think it mattered at this point. But
I'm
watching it again. But
I always was wondering, what is Vince's status really? Does he have any input? Do they just say fuck you and just go on with what they do?
I don't think he has any input at this point. I don't think
he's just a name now, right?
Yeah, I don't think I think he's really out of there. I think it's. Man, he is mad. Oof. I'm sorry I keep bringing this up, but it's he's so mad.
Yeah, I wish I could see the whole thing. Like, I wonder what, because I mean,
Okay,
it
so
had to be some time because you see, you see, what's his name, fucking Corey Graves, and you see Michael Cole holding him back,
yeah.
along with other referees, and
But I wonder, like, because it's at some point, like, you see he's mad and just kind of escalates where they have to hold him back. Like, I want to see what happened to
right,
make
that's what I
him.
mean.
Yeah.
Like, did CM Punk do his famous blow the kiss type thing? Like, you know what I mean? Or did Punk say anything? Did he point at him? Like, I don't know. I would love to see that. I gotta find more video. That just happened to pop up on my feed.
So my question to you is, I know that you're a little bit more hesitant than me on this thing, but now seeing this video and the fact that Triple H said that maybe like 2 or 3 people knew, like nobody but the tip top people knew. How do you think this makes the roster feel? Like, Seth Rollins is just pissed off. So it's like, is this something that you think that will affect the morale, to think like, hey, you're bringing this guy in? I know that I said that there's a lot of young people on this roster, but like I also said there's a handful of people like Seth Rollins who knows who was there when Punk was there, right? So I guess seeing this, it's like, what do you think? Like,
I mean, that's why I'm hesitant, because I mean, I've heard Seth Rollins in interviews call CM Punk a cancer, so it's I don't know. I honestly have no idea. I just remain hesitant, but I'm excited because of the potential. But I mean, it's hard to not think about the past. It really isn't. Like,
I mean, I get it. I like I said,
I think you're being positive about it because
the in-ring I'm more excited about. Like,
yeah,
I really don't want to.
That's at the end of the day, that's the part that's the main, that's the focus. It should be on the in-ring. But I think that, now you can call us, we're journalists basically, or content creator, whatever you want to call it.
I'm a broadcast journalist, just like Bob Heenan said.
Broadcasting partner or whatever.
I went to the Heenan School of Broadcasting, indeed.
Like, we have to think beyond, and we have to understand that the backstage is a part of the performance as well. Like, we have to think that.
I mean, at the end of the day, Seth Rollins has had, if I'm going to think of something recently, Matt Riddle, and then even Cody said, like, him and Seth Rollins aren't like best friends. At the end of the day, Seth is going to do business. Like, I don't think he's just going to be like, I'm not working with him.
I agree with that. Well, see, I agree with that, but the thing is, we've never had, Seth has never called Cody a cancer. Seth has never said he doesn't want Cody in the WWE. Like, he's never said that.
But at the end of the day, unlike AEW, this isn't Seth Rollins' company, and I get that he's respected and
that part. But it's not like I expect Seth to not, do the right thing. But I'm just saying, we've also just never been in this situation. So that's just another thing. You got to understand too, Seth, Sami Zayn, Owens, all these guys are friends with wrestlers. They're Kevin Owens is one of his best. Some of his best friends are the Young Bucks. And I'm sure, I don't know his reaction with Kenny, but I know he's one of his best friends are the Young Bucks. Like, they had a tag team in old school Ring of Honor and all that. Like, they're all cool with each other. El Generico, Sami Zayn, like, they all know each other. So, you're telling me word of mouth? Cody obviously had, relationships with everyone in AEW. So, it wouldn't surprise me if they are not happy about it, and it could cause something. I don't know, but that's why I have to remain hesitant.
I look at it this way: we all have worked in jobs with people that we don't like. We've had some people that weren't a good fit for the culture or whatever, but we still went in there and did our jobs. I get it, especially since we have to cover things with wrestling that the backstage part is the main part. Well, is the important part, not the main part. I still, to me, college just putting on rose-colored glasses. Like I'm still just looking at the in-ring part. At the end of the day, this is some grown-ass men, and wrestling is not. I get it. You make friends. You know, people get married. People make long-term friendships in this, but it's a business. It's about the bottom line. It's about money. They don't have to just work this shit out. And like I said, if it comes out that Punk, let's just say Seth Rollins is right. Let's say Punk is a cancer. I don't see Triple H and them letting that fester too long. It's not going to be you going to cut up at the press conference and then come back to work Monday. We're not doing that. So let's just say if Punk steps out of line, I see Triple H and them nipping that in the bud. Boom. Because at the end of the day, Punk is it's fine that he's there. It's great, but they don't need him.
Yeah, the WWE is always bigger than the wrestler.
We're not if he's coming back and he has not changed after a decade, hey, then they can cut it out. Because like I also said, I'm optimistic, but they ain't gonna put up with that shit. So let's just see. I think this whole situation, it's a lot. You know, it's a lot. You can tell that they didn't know. You know, even as early as this morning, I was reading, people were like, he's not coming. They've asked people. No one said anything. Nothing's happening. So even I like I said, I thought, okay, Randy's back. It's a good match, great ending. That's all we need. Let's move on. Like I was absolutely prepared for CM Punk not to come back and move on with my life. Excited about men's War Games main event. It was cool, but it's a lot. It's emotion. It's a lot of memories. And again, who's to say that they're not going to be able to, at some point, sit down and say, hey, look, we made a business decision and not everybody's going to like this business decision. And if there's some issue, who's to say that they can't say, let's just get to, let's just hash this out. Let's talk through, get it over with, whatever. It's literally only been like maybe an hour or two since this happened. About an hour. So I get it. It's a lot.
That's almost an AEW.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. And that was a good point you brought up. They have friends. But again, if they're not there, it's like if my best friend will tell me something that happened to her at work, right? So-and-so's, she don't get along with so-and-so. Naturally, I'm going to side with my best friend because I love my best friend and I care about my best friend, right? But there's her side, their side, and there's the truth. And the truth could very well have parts of both sides, right? But you're always going to hear the side that makes that person telling the story seem like, they're the good or they're the victim and everything. I firmly believe CM Punk, he had his wrong in the situation. But I'm also thinking, hey, the Bucks and them were innocent either. And this is on Tony as well, for how you run your leadership, how you run your ship, right? So I think we're going to have a lot of CM Punk fighters in the next couple of weeks because there's like so much you can go with it. But at the end of the day, this is about money. Triple H and Nick Khan, they made a smart business decision. And it got everybody talking. Now, how it'll pan out in the long run has to be seen, but we hopped on the mic an hour after the show happened and we're talking about it. The internet blew up. So from that standpoint, it was very smart. Now you just got to go back and smooth it out with everybody else, I guess. But man, this is... Jeez.
So obviously after a big event, you get a lot of news stories, whether you choose to believe them or not. I have another story here. I guess I'm just gonna be the breaking news type thing or
Where
whatever.
you getting all this news tonight?
And look, according to PW Insider,
Jeez, okay.
Drew McIntyre stormed out of the ring after the end of the men's War Games match that closed Survivor Series. He stormed into the back, slammed his locker room door, threw on a hoodie, and immediately left Allstate Arena. It was obvious to everyone that McIntyre was angry, but no word yet as to why. It was such a loud and obvious situation that a lot of people witnessed it, and it's become the subject of conversation over the last hour.
Man.
Um,
Damn, I wish I missed my rose-colored glasses. I was so excited. Now it's like, oh no.
yeah.
Oh. Come on, guys. Pull it together. That was 10 years ago. Pull it together. Make money. Come on.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if he was mad at the match or just mad at the end. I mean, we're not going to know for a little while. I'll be honest with you.
I will say we talked about our predictions, and we really should at some point start talking about the rest of the show. But I was surprised the Judgment Day and them didn't win. I was surprised. But I mean, I guess you don't want Randy's first match in like almost 2 years to be a loss. So, I mean, that was the only logical reason why I saw that happening. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Let's step away from CM Punk for a little bit. Let's talk about the men's War Games match. So, I have a little. I thought the match was good.
Mm-hmm.
Don't think it was the best War Games match of the night, but I thought it was good, and I did love the story, the little things that they were doing, the little nuances that Triple H mentioned in his press conference. I did like it. The only thing is I did wish there was more like big spots. You know, I think that one of the things about the women's match that was so great is that they had so many big spots. I felt like the Judgment Day and Team Cody, they had more beef. So with beef, you want to kind of destroy each other. And I didn't really feel that as much. There was no, I mean, they did have the kendo sticks and stuff like that, but I wanted more. I feel like it didn't, I needed more. What was up with no tables? It was just like one table in each match. Like that was the only thing. That was weird. We normally get a lot more tables. But yeah, it just wasn't enough. I feel like hatred in that match. Still really good match, really enjoyed it, but I just wanted more hatred. What do you think?
I mean, I agree. I think the women's match was better. I also think there was so much already kind of going on. There was so many things to keep up with. Drew and Jay, and then Damien's the leader, but then Damien and Drew are like have this plan, and you don't know what the plan is, and then there was just almost the cash in, and then when is Randy coming? There was just so much already kind of going on. So to me, I was fine with the match because there was, like I said, there was already so many other interactions I was looking at, So I think the women's match needed to be, I guess, I get what you're saying. Like there should be a lot more hatred in the men's match because they're a lot more long running. But with the women, the story made sense, but I think the way that they structured the match kind of made up for some of the parts of the story that wasn't as strong. So I think that's why the story clicked a little bit. The men's just had so much other stuff going on, like storytelling wise. So I'm okay with it. And plus there was, that cloud of, is Punk coming back? Is all this other stuff happening when, Randy coming back, all the other stuff. So I wasn't mad at it. It was.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not mad. I just wanted a little bit more.
I'm just, that's just what I'm saying. And even like I said, with the cash in with, Rhea jumping out, I didn't for once think that was happening. I saw what they were trying to do. It was clever in the moment, but I did not believe for 1 second. that Senior was cashing in at that point. Like, it was gonna really happen.
Yeah, I
So,
had a feeling that something like that would happen. I thought it would be pretty cool, just to have that, at least the attempt. But
it was clever. It was a clever idea, but
yeah, it really was. So
especially how they
guess
structured it. Like, after the time went out, Randy was supposed to come out. He didn't come out. Like, once the Rhea came out, I'm like, okay, Randy's coming out now. So, but it was again, this still has a lot of miles on it with all these men in this match. This can still go on for a while. You might not have maybe not so many tag matches to main event Raw, but now you can kind of, hopefully, if this Punk thing didn't kind of derail everything, but there's still a lot of things I want to see. I want to see, what Randy's gonna do, how that's gonna tie in with Cody. You know what? I texted you earlier, and Sami Zayn, I know that he's kind of cooled off from the beginning of the year. He was going against Roman and winning the tag team titles, but I really want to see where Sami goes. Like, he is so good. Like, he's so good. I want something for Sami. I think it's on his team. It's so easy to get lost in the the main event, Jey Uso and Cody, and then you got Seth being flamboyant as he is, and then Randy coming back. It's easy to kind of lose sight of Sami, and Sami just has a way of making you feel what he's feeling. Like, I texted you and I was like, man, Sami is so stressed out because they didn't know if Randy was coming, and even the way he marched to the ring when he came, it was his turn to get in War Games. Like, God, I want something for Sami. Like, I want something really, really good for him. So, yeah, and then Judgment Day, Damian saying that he's the leader, that's always kind of in the background, and I hope Drew gets it together. Like, I hope he's okay, because I still think he has some more mileage, especially, like, he's still pissed about some things that happened with Jay. Like, I really want to see what happens with that. But yeah, I don't think this is going to be like the end all be all. This is just a stop in it,
All right. Well, let me ask you this. So, Randy, how did he look to you? Because to me, he looked great. I thought he looked like he was in one of the best shape of his life, to be honest with you. And I did love the moment he did the RKO. He did 2 RKOs? So he did try to, at one point, he looked like he was going to RKO Jay, but then Jay saved him with the super kick, and loved the RKO spot with Madonna, Jay Madonna, which that looked pretty cool. So that's going to go down as one of the best RKOs in history. So it was a great looking spot. I love that they didn't really, he didn't take really any bumps really besides, I guess, the RKOs, which is good. They're saving him and protecting him. But I thought it was a great job.
Yeah, I was a little worried if he was going to be able to do the RKO, because they had talked about like his back surgery and everything, and I was like, if he never does another RKO, I'd be okay with it, because I want him to be healthy. I thought it was fitting. The very first RKO back was Dominic Mysterio. I thought that was good. Gosh, shout out to JD though. I feel like his bump and EO's bump, I would be scared to take. Because like EO just kind of free falling with something over your head, that's got to be scary, because you just got to trust that you're going to be okay when you land. And then JD essentially just taking a full face plant into the mat. And if you've ever taken a bump like that, is extremely unforgiving. So, man, shout out to him. Like, that's just, I couldn't imagine, But he looks good. Randy looks great. I'm so happy that he's back. I know people were like, they weren't sure if he was coming back. Yeah, he looked hyped to be there. Man, now that I think about it, like I know we got to see Seth's reaction and Drew was mad. I wonder how Randy felt. Like, You're
Well,
coming back. Like,
I do have
oh,
some more exclusive footage. Um,
okay.
Randy grabbed one of the chairs in the ring and sat down and kind of waved at Punk. So that was
Very thing to do. I love
yeah.
that. That's such
Speaking
a
of
like.
reactions, we got the reactions just rolling in to here on the Ring Chance podcast. We have a reaction from ex tag team partner of Randy Orton himself. I am talking about Mr. Matthew Riddle. Who said, "Hey, at WWE, you thought I was hard to deal with?" Laughing face emoji. Have fun with 0-2 CM Punk. So he's obviously referring to his UFC record. But yes.
Oh, Matt Riddle, don't do that. Don't do
yes. Riddle is.
Now we're not gonna get RK Bro anytime soon. Oh.
Yeah, he's done. He's definitely done. Well, you know what? Never say never, right? So
right, you can't say that.
Yeah, I can't say that at all. But yeah, I mean, we also have the epic picture of Triple H and CM Punk with the finger point. So yes, we do have officially that picture.
Yeah, I see it.
But yeah, let's step away from the men. Let's step away from CM Punk. Let's step away from the men's War Games and Randy Orton. We got to talk about one thing. The obviously the best return of the night. We got to just take a minute and talk about it. My boy R-Truth is back.
Yes. Did you hear that pop when he came back? Oh gosh. R-Truth is a national treasure. I mean, it's crazy. I was watching, I don't know how it came up. I guess I was scrolling on Instagram, and when he came out, and what did he say? Oh, when he interrupted and said he was going to win Money in the Bank or something, Kane was like, "You're not even in the match." And he's like, "Oh, I'm not
even in the match."
Like, oh,
my bad.
That's not me, y'all. Y'all be good. Oh, man, such a national treasure. I am so happy he's back. I love R-Truth.
The funniest thing when he came out in the Royal Rumble, he grabbed the ladder and started climbing the ladder for the Money in the Bank, even though it was a Royal Rumble. Oh man, I love it. Yeah, it was great to see it. He was in a funny segment with my boys. Oh man, I think it's woo! Yes, boy. But yeah,
yes, Pretty Deadly. I like them.
Yes, boy. Those are my boys, yo. I love that. Oh, I just love that whole gimmick, that whole thing. I've loved this since NXT. So that's great. That's great. It was hilarious. The crisp versus a chip. I thought that was just awesome. I can sense my voice going. But yeah, it was pretty good. I'm definitely gonna rewatch that segment again. It's already up on YouTube, like legit. WWE already posted it, so I'm gonna definitely watch that after this. But yeah, R-Truth is back. Hopefully, he's the one that dethrones my tribal chief. I wouldn't be mad at that.
We'll see. File that away.
I would not be mad if it's R-Truth all along. It was him all along. But anyway. But no, let's shift gears. We mentioned them, but let's go ahead and talk about the women's War Games match. I had a question that I immediately wrote down after the match that I wanted to ask you. But before I ask you this question, what are your thoughts on the women's match?
I think I kind of touched on that. Left the other, I guess, arc. And again, it's a testament to WWE storytelling. Charlotte and Bayley, they say that they're actually, unless they're really good actresses, they're actually they're in a better place. I feel within the match, I don't know. This is kind of like the reunion I didn't know needed years ago when they had their match. You can feel that tension, never fall in their friendship. Just you get some deep shit. So yeah, the Charlotte and Becky. Yeah, it was kind of nice to see, you know, those two kind of move past. Like I said, you can kind of feel the tension between them, and it just seemed a little different. So I thought that was very refreshing, and that was an interesting little story to tell within. Because I know a lot of people were kind of like, oh, I guess I don't know if they wanted Jade to come in, but it was a nice surprise. You know, it was a nice surprise. Like, we didn't really understand why Becky was being put in, but it was a nice little bow to kind of put on the Charlotte and Becky friendship, you know, feud or friendship. But at the end of the day, when they were down, they still cared about each other. So I thought that was an interesting little wrinkle that I didn't even know that I needed in this story. And then of course, with Bailey being put off by, how damage control is, because it seems like she's the outlier. Because even when EO and them talk, Dakota's even the one saying, hey, this is what EO said, blah, blah, blah. So that's an interesting little wrinkle to see how damage control is going to continue on. Because clearly they're not going to be together for very long, but how it's going to happen is interesting. But yeah, and then I think like Triple H said, and I don't know if this was your question regarding how Shotzi did, but I think this was something that was needed for her. I think still as far as her character, and I don't mean this in a disrespectful way, it doesn't really come off as genuine. It's like she's trying to seem crazy and seem overly like just a little off kilter.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that once she kind of finds her groove and continuing to put her women in the division is going to do nothing but help her. But yeah, I think she didn't feel, it didn't seem like she was completely out of place tonight, if that makes sense. She's still not strong as a character yet, but I think once she gets comfortable and leans into it, I think she'll be fine. But I definitely think I can see they got something in her. She just has to find it. So good for Shotzi. She's definitely in there. Definitely, good for her. I was happy for her.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that Shotzi definitely showed that she is on the right path to get to that main event status. And yeah, my question was, did this, lift her into it? I definitely think she showed out. She had some great spots. Character-wise, I think she's doing fine with her character. That's just crazy. I get what you're saying, where it could seem like she's a little overly acting it or whatever. But I from my experiences of watching her, she's always just had that that craziness side in her. So I'm liking what I've seen from her. I wish she still had the green hair though. Oh man, I miss her with green hair. She was bae when she had green hair. But other than that, no, I'm really proud of what Shotzi did. I do also agree with you on the dynamic with Becky and Charlotte. Love that they added that in there. It's also interesting that they did the press conference together. So that was a nice little touch with that. Hopefully they did kind of rekindle a little bit. Maybe they're not best friends, but at least they're friendly and maybe can work to becoming best friends again. That would be cool for just their personal lives, but also just making, that means they're more willing to work together, and maybe we can get some more things. I would love to see her and Charlotte and Becky at like a Mania or something like that. Like that would be pretty cool. As far as the highlight of the match, I mean, I thought Kairi Sane did a great job. Loved her spots with the trash can lid. That was awesome. Obviously cannot forget about my girl Io Sky doing another crazy jump off the top of the cage with the trash can over her body, and that was just awesome, and that was a holy shit moment. Charlotte, respect to Charlotte for doing the backflip up the corner on the top of the cage.
Something else I wouldn't do.
Yeah, that just major respect. I know Charlotte's crazy, but I didn't think Charlotte would do that, and she did it. So gotta give her major props. Bailey, just taking a beating throughout the whole match. Gotta love Bailey for what she did. She took a couple of headshots with the kendo stick. Becky hit her a couple times in the head that I caught. But I think Bailey also gave her a receipt as well and made Becky bleed. I don't know if anyone caught that, but I definitely caught that. Becky had to go to the corner and get a little stitched up a little bit. But other than that, I thought it was a fantastic match. It was definitely the match of the night. Great way to open the show. It was one of the best War Games matches that I've seen. I'll have to go back and really sit down and think if it was, where to rank it. But it was definitely up there in the top. I would say it's definitely in the top 3 that I've seen recently from the modern ones. I gotta really think about it. But yeah, it was just top to bottom great. I love the progression. Bailey taking the pin, like you mentioned. That just means that's going to lead to a further stories as far as her losing the match for her team, and the eventual breakup is going to happen with Io Sky, just taking over pretty much. And I guess that will lead to a babyface Bailey, and Bailey's going to have to get some assistance, and she's going to have to call a friend.
Here we go.
When she calls a friend, my pick is Royal Rumble. My current pick, but that was assuming Jade was going to show up already. Now that Jade hasn't shown up already, she's not my pick to win the Rumble. Bailey's friend. I'm not going to mention her until I actually see her. But
your bets, just in case it doesn't happen, huh?
But right now I got Jade winning the Rumble, but in her first match, by the way. But if it's not Jade, if Jade's not in the Rumble, then Bailey's best friend is going to be the person that she calls. She's going to win the Rumble, and we're going to get Io versus her best friend. So at Mania, which would be great. That would be great.
What sense does that make to have her best friend be the one to go against Io Sky?
What you mean? Bailey's not on her level, okay? It makes perfect sense.
I'm not gonna call somebody to fight my battle for me, especially if that person has a shot at winning a championship that I've won in the past. Bailey's no slouch.
I'm not saying Bailey's a slouch. Bailey
now, if you want to call her beforehand or even after the fact to kind of help even the odds maybe after she wins.
Bailey is highly respected by me. I love everything about Bailey from head to toe.
I'm not calling my friend to get my spot. No, thank you. Now, after I win and solidify my spot, if y'all still bothering me on my way to WrestleMania, then I'll be like, hey,
she gonna call her
best friend, pull up. But
I beat you before, but I need you to beat her so I can try to beat you again. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
no, sir.
At the end of the day, I just know that she's coming back. And I'm not going to say who until it happens because I don't want to jinx it. But let's just say you and this person have something in common. That's all I'm going to say.
Anyway.
And when it happens, I'm going to be right because she said she's coming back in 2024. And what's the first thing that happens in 2024?
When did she say that?
She said that on Instagram. She was coming back. She didn't say where she was coming, but she's coming back.
Okay, I was gonna say she
didn't say a company, but she said she'll be back in wrestling in 2024. Now, so that either means Wrestle Kingdom or that means Royal Rumble in my eyes. So I'm just saying. She might do both. She should. She's the GOAT. So it don't matter. She can do whatever she wants.
You know
But
good and
anyway,
well if she comes back to WWE, she ain't going to be in Wrestle Kingdom. They don't do that. Not very often.
no,
I
she
mean,
can do.
Carl
She'll do
Anderson,
it.
they let them do that, and
No,
maybe
she'll do it. She'll do
Shinsuke and
that
stuff.
first.
But
She'll do that first, and then Trish will call her the week, the day before, like he did with Punk. They literally just talked like a couple of days ago. He signed the deal like an hour or two before the show. So just letting you know that's gonna happen. This is information I'm gaining right now. You know what I'm saying? So
I don't know about you, but I can't wait to watch Raw tomorrow on a Monday.
Yeah.
It's crazy
Monday.
that it's just
we
Saturday.
gotta wait. We gotta wait till Monday.
I'm so used to them being on Sundays, PLEs. Like, I'm happy for the Saturdays, but then stuff like this happens. It's like, oh, wait, I still gotta wait.
I mean, we got. Oh, and by the way, he did wave at. It looks like he did wave at Seth. So I think that's what's going on. 1.3 million views in 15 minutes. By the way, the video on Twitter.
Smart business decision.
So yeah, it was definitely a business. Oh wow, the women's War Games match was the most viewed opening match outside of WrestleMania. So yeah, there you go. But anyway, let's just give some quick thoughts on the rest of the card. We can speed by that. Great pop from Miz and Gunther. But Miz, the crowd was definitely behind Miz. They definitely wanted him to win as the match kept going on. So shout out to Miz, who is totally awesome and still one of my favorites. I've been a fan of the Miz since the Real World New York. Back to New York. Then this was like 2099, 2000. So 20 something years ago, 23 years ago. Loved the Miz and everything. So shout out to him. I loved the near falls in that match. I actually thought at one point this man was going to be Gunther. It was that believable. I was actually mad at myself for believing that at the same time.
Good job.
Yeah, it was a great job. So I got to give them credit. I was a little disappointed with the Santos Dragon Lee match. It was still a good match. I just wanted more, but I think they're saving that for later. You had to give Santos the win, and since this was a more obvious win for him, it made sense to keep it a little bit minimal.
But the crowd definitely did not like him, so that's good.
Yeah, and I think that's true. I think he's doing his job, and we're getting the Santos that you wanted all along. So I think that makes sense. I heard some rumors about what's going to happen with his future, as far as is he going to get some people beside him, and it does seem like he is going to get some backup. Do you want to know who they are potentially?
I think I heard that could be.
Okay.
And I think that might.
It makes
that
sense.
Actually, probably will make more sense than what he had. But again, it's just like I feel like I keep saying it every time we talk about LWO. Like, they didn't really do much with Joaquin and Cruz to establish them on the main roster. So I mean, if they don't go with who we were talking, who we think it might be, I don't know. I wish they had done more with him. I still kind of feel like maybe there's a chance that he might get, them to leave LWO and come over with him and reestablish. But I mean, if they get the two guys that they're rumored to, that would make sense too.
Well, I think what they should do, which would be kind of crazy. So I have to go back because I don't know if this ever has happened. I know it happened in the original NWO. So in the NWO, obviously we had the original white and black, the original, and then they switched. Then we had like the Wolfpack. They split in two. I don't know if the LWO ever split in two like that. So wouldn't it be kind of crazy if he creates his own LWO and it's kind of like the Wolfpack version, where it's like, so you have a feud of two LWOs and stuff? Like, I don't know. I thought that would be pretty cool.
I don't know. I'm not like too enthused about it. If it happens, fine, but
Kind of like a
that wouldn't have
civil
been my
war.
first choice. But
It'd be a nice civil war. You know this, and you turn the LWO heel, basically. But the cool thing is though is that we're only talking about the men in the LWO. Someone also, a female, is also going to come. I don't know if you heard that rumor.
no.
Yes. So let's just say an old friend is coming along with him.
But we talked about that though.
We
Talked
did.
about that a couple episodes ago.
We did. Well, we actually talked about it more in depth in an episode that we couldn't release.
Yes,
With
the
them
lost
upset.
episode.
In the last episode, we talked about this
Yeah.
in detail. I actually brought this up in my plan of how to build the women's division. So, Trips is taking my ideas. That's basically what it is. That's one part of the ones
I
I
need to
texted
get
them.
paid for this.
I really should. But if that happens, I think that would be a great idea. And then the final match, Rhea Ripley and Zoe Stark. Zoe showed out. I think that's just as simple as the most simplest way I can say it. She showed out. She shows that she is a force to be reckoned with. Very, very hard hitting match. I mean, I was like, damn, are they slapping the fuck out of each other? And they definitely were. So major props to those two women. Obviously, Rhea, that's mommy. You know what I'm saying? That's bae. Like, it don't matter. She does everything perfect.
She's just. I know they kept referencing. If you look up "star" in the dictionary, there's Rhea Ripley.
There's
Can't
definitely
deny, like she was all over the place. Again, I think when we talk about like character-wise, like Shotzi and even like Zoe to some extent, I think Rhea is a very interesting case study, and how like once you find your groove and you lean into it, like how far you can go. Like she's a very interesting case study because once you look at when she started and where she is now, and even she's still evolved as she's gone. Like, she started with the long blonde hair looking almost like they called her like, a little Charlotte, and then she slowly made the turn, started making things, change with her wardrobe. When she got to the main roster, when she joined Judgment Day the first time, like if you look at the progression, the confidence, the everything, like she's complete. And I think that is amazing for her. And for her to still be like she's not even 30. She is young. And she just found it. She's just going, and man, she has her hand in everything. She's still the women's world champion. She's all up in the main event. She's the catalyst for so much on that show. So man, and like I said, Zoe, she's really she's very intense. I like that about her. She's very, very intense and believable. Like you're saying, very hard hitting. I just need something for a little bit. I don't expect everybody to just be, just star after star after star, but just, she doesn't really have that personality that's over the top. But I think if we could just find one little extra thing to kind of push her over the edge, she'd be good. Because she's got everything else. She's got the intensity. She's believable. Like, she ain't in there just slapping. Like, she's, like you said, she's punching the fuck out of people. So I appreciate that about her. I would love for her, and I know they kind of talked, like, they kind of teased it. I'd really love for her and Shayna to be a tag team. Like, that would be cool. I feel like her and Shayna could have been what I wanted her and Ronda to be, if that makes sense.
Well, they did tag team already.
But really make a go at it. Like, just be like a legit tag team.
Yeah. That would be nice because she does have that badass vibe type thing. Like, you give her a leather jacket. Well, you give her the leather jacket and just be like that badass. Yeah, I think she could. She could definitely be like the real like rowdy person. You know what I mean?
It kind of like you remember when? Sorry, you remember like when Angle and Benoit, when they started tagging up, like they weren't friends, but they kind of had like a similar style, and there was like a respect in there, but they weren't friends. So I kind of like that dynamic with them. They're like, we have a common goal. Like Shayna could be like, hey, you know, she's kind of been floundering a little bit. She's kind of been in the middle, you know, since she got into the, you know, the main roster. So now she's kind of looking to kind of regain and legitimize herself back to where she was. And Zoe's trying to make her name to kind of come up. So that would be a good reason for them to tag. And as much as I enjoy Chelsea Green, you also have to admit the tag team titles, once again, aren't doing anything. So it's like, that would be a good way for them to start. Then you kind of see if you can build up some tag teams, you know, that can ultimately take them down. Because, I mean, if you think back at it, we just talked about, you know, Rhea Ripley, and arguably the moment that really kind of put Rhea Ripley on everybody's radars when she knocked down Shayna to win the NXT Women's title.
Yeah.
That kind of put all eyes on her. So if we can have that happen again, you know, but in the tag team division, build Shayna up, have Zoe go with her, maybe try to build up a tag team. I mean, I think the beautiful thing about the Triple H era is that people who haven't been used for a long time, they eventually find their way back. Look at Xia Li. Like, Xia Li's been kicking people and knocking people out and fighting on NXT for the women's title. She just did something with Becky. So now you can do like a Caden Carter, Katana Chance. Maybe you can build up Candice LeRae, Indy Hartwell. Like, you got Tegan and Natty trying to tag up. You can do something, you know, have that going in there. And that could be a match you could have at WrestleMania. You know, they have the little showcase matches. Have that going.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. I do agree with that with a lot. I mean, if you remember, that was one of the tag teams I put together in my Lost episode.
Yes.
I put Zoe and Shayna. So I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. I think that is the way to go. You know, I think that's some of the best. I mean, if you think about it, a lot of great single stars come from tag teams.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So just let it be the same with her. You mentioned Tegan. Tegan's with Natty, and she's learning from Natty, and I think that would be great for Tegan because obviously I see Tegan as a future star of the women's division. But yeah, it's going to be hard to accomplish everything that Rhea is accomplishing. And, you know, Rhea has so much more to accomplish in life and in the WWE and outside the WWE, including receiving an award from us. Because as we talked about it, we're going to be bringing back our award show this year. Towards let's see, we're almost in the last month of the year. So me and Sasha are going to be bringing back our annual award show. Did we create a name for it yet?
No, I was going to ask you that. We need to come up with a name for it.
Yeah, we got to come up with a name.
Champies. I don't know. What do you want to do?
Champies? Nah, we can't go. Nah, we can't do that. We got to think of something official. Something more than that. The last time we did the lame name, we had the Finos. It was stupid.
It should have been like the Beanies or something. That would have been cool. I don't know.
But we got to think of something because we're definitely going to be doing that. That's going to be coming up soon. Trying to think what else we got coming up. Oh, we're going to do a game show episode. Didn't we talk about that or something?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we're gonna do that. We got that coming. We got a couple fun stuff coming up at the end of the year. But to wrap up Survivor Series as a whole, give us a grade for Survivor Series.
I mean, I'll give it an 8.5. I don't want to give it a 10 because I feel like giving it any higher than that would just be based off of like the immediate emotional reaction of all these returns. I feel like if you take away like the Punk and things like that, it was still a very solid show. It was very good. I give it an 8.5. I really enjoyed it.
I would have said without Punk, I would have gave it an 8.5. with Punk. I'm gonna give it a 9. It was just a really good show. I enjoyed it, pretty much the crowd. I enjoyed the returns. I enjoyed the two war game matches. I mean, just overall, it was just a great experience. I knew it would be a great show. Just felt it, and that was without Punk. Adding Punk, I mean, that's just added more to it. And of course, adding R-Truth. I mean, come on now. So, and the New Day doing the New Day Rocks with the horn, like that was awesome. So, we gotta give them props for that. I'm gonna give it a 9. I'll just say 8. I'll say 8.5. I agree with you on the 8.5. I think 9. I would need like an all-time great match, I guess, to make it a 9. There wasn't an all-time great, but there was really great matches as far as the women's war games match for sure was a really great. I'd probably give that like a 4.5 out of 5 stars. So major props to the women on that. But yeah, so great night of wrestling, great Survivor Series. We got Monday Night Raw coming up soon. 2 weeks from now, we got the Deadline pay-per-view for NXT. They got the Iron Survivor Challenge matches, which I don't know if you watched the last one, the first time they did it. Very, very interesting concept. I think that's something that would be really cool to bring to the main roster. But if they keep it straight NXT, I can understand. But it has a really cool concept that I definitely enjoy. I was trying to think off the top of my head, trying to run through everything real quick. But yeah, we got that coming up. Then we don't have anything to the Royal Rumble. So pretty much the next couple of episodes we're going to have is just like I said, the award show. We got the game show episode that we're going to come up with. We're going to do another what if. We got to do another what if before the year is over. So we got to think about that because I really love the what if series. And got a lot of good feedback on that as well. So we got to bring that. And maybe by the end of the show, we can get, not the end of the show, maybe by the end of the year, we can also get like a guest or something on the show. That would be cool too. So that will be our next, couple of episodes. So I can't wait to do that.
Let's aim high and get Senior Money in the Bank. Let's just go ahead and get that. Let's get that out.
I'm gonna reach out. I will reach out. And
that would be an amazing Christmas present. That's what I want for Christmas.
All right, but based on the picture, I can also say Drew McIntyre. So you got to pick one. Which one am I going for?
Senor.
Okay. I just want to make sure.
I love you, Drew, but that's my guy right there.
Okay, all right. I'll reach out. I'll try to.
I take my Christmas presents in 6'5" Puerto Rican men with tattoos. That's what I want for Christmas.
Well, then I will do my best to make sure
make it happen.
I will at least reach out and see. You never know. Maybe I can pull a miracle. We'll see.
Pull some strings and see if we can get you that that sweatshirt.
Yeah, that it's still not on WWE Shop. I checked twice.
What a cruel thing to do.
I've tried. They have the CM Punk shirts, but they don't.
I was gonna say, like, they got CM Punk merch, but they didn't put your snappy little Yeet sweatshirt on there.
Like,
that's kind of cool.
One thing I want was the Yeet, and I don't have the Yeet yet. So
are you gonna get it in? If they do put it, do you want it in black or white?
Oh, I'm getting it in white. It looked better in white.
I don't like white clothing.
I don't either, but it looked better in white.
Yeah, I guess.
It just looked like that hoodie was perfect. That's why I wanted it. The minute I saw it, I was like, "Oh yeah, I gotta get that."
Yes, indeed.
So, but yeah, great night wrestling. We got some great returns. We're gonna have some, great returns coming up, or not great. We're gonna have some debuts, hopefully with Jade coming soon. Return of my girl. Yeah, we just got a lot of great things ahead of us, guys. So we can't wait to talk to you guys about it all. Hope you guys enjoyed. My voice is going as I'm talking, so I'm trying to speed it up as quickly possible. Sasha, do you have anything else to say to the people? Because this is episode 16.
Damn it, Triple H! You weren't playing around. Triple H, man. He said, "This is my company now. Like, I'm gonna do this shit how I want to do it." So, kudos to him. Way to go! But no, let's enjoy the ride, guys. I have a feeling WrestleMania 40, everything leading up to that event and the event itself, gonna be a special one. So let's enjoy the ride.
Yeah. And just speaking about WrestleMania 40, I think all the plans that and any matchups that we had in mind, pretty much we could throw that all away right now. Just because of tonight, I'll be honest. I think all that just got thrown out the window for me.
Man, I don't know. I'm looking. I mean, it's still a long way from now.
I know, but
I want to see CM Punk and Seth now.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I got to throw everything away. Now I have no idea what's going to happen. So, I'm going to have to redo everything, rethink it out. And I'll have to text Trips and let them know, hey, look, this is what I'm thinking. This is what you're thinking. We'll share notes and shit like that. There you go. So, all right, people. Just remember, you guys can listen to us on YouTube. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Share, like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Shout out to all the subscribers that we do have already. All the people that have listened to the show. Shout out. Thank you. We love you. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. This is episode 16. Doing great things. We got a lot coming up. So can't wait to do that. All right, guys. We are heading out. Love you. Peace. We out here.
Adios.
Yeet.